Hi guys, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Your monthly subscriptions help support the channel. If anybody's interested in subscribing monthly, you can certainly go over to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist. Choose a subscription level over there. It's billed to your credit card monthly, and you'll get the daily forecast a day early. There's also other readings available over there. I give the bundles of subscription if you're interested. If you're interested in a private reading, you can contact my Facebook business page. Those are always available. Or you can purchase any of the decks that I use from my Amazon affiliate links. If it's a deck from Etsy, just, please support those artists, but I don't receive anything from those sales, just so you know. But all of that stuff is on my unboxings or in the video descriptions. So those are other ways of supporting the channel. Hitting the like button is huge, especially for YouTube viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoy my videos, hitting that thumbs up button lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content. It also prompts them to potentially send my content out to other new viewers. That way I pick up new subscribers. So that would be a huge help if you are enjoying my work and what I do here. Hitting that thumbs up button definitely to support. You can also leave questions and comments on the video. Share it out wherever you feel it might be used. This is for Wednesday the 28th of October, but it's not specifically solely only for that date. It is a timeless message in the sense that because it's for the greater collective, for the highest good, when it reaches you, it's when it's supposed to. If you're watching it on a date that's not the 28th, that's completely fine. Doesn't mean that you need to turn it off. You can maybe utilize the information in your life somewhere. Please feel free to do so. If it doesn't make sense or doesn't resonate, that's completely fine too. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means you might be working on something new or different. And if you decide to make any personal decisions in your life, in your day-to-day life after having watched this video, please know that those decisions are your responsibility. So I want you guys to trust your own information, your own intuition, and also, utilize these readings for validation, inspiration, support, whatever, but, they don't have to be the be-all, end-all, right? So they should give you insight, but they should support what you maybe hopefully already know, or I think that makes sense. I think you guys understand. All right, so let's see what's going on. We're at the midweek, so some of you might be shifting from that winged card that we saw on Sunday's reading into, I believe it was Flannery O'Connor, Humanity. Oh shit. Okay. Maybe we're not shifting into Flannery O'Connor just yet. We might be staying with this idea of wings. To me, this card always makes me feel light. It makes me think of departures, right? It makes me think of being ready. Okay, so yesterday's story, if you watched yesterday's forecast, it was about that toad being a little reluctant to sort of take the leap, or at least that was the feeling that I was getting from that toad card. This wings card showing back up again speaks to this idea that we still have a dream or a desire that needs to take flight. We still have a wish, and some of us may be in process of that flight happening, right? Wherever that may be for us. We might still be in the planning stages. We might actually be taking off and flapping our wings and, getting up in the air, so to speak. But wherever we're at in that, I think, and this takes me back to the grounding stone of this week, which was joy. Finding that joy, that excitement, that thrill, right? Even if it's scary or a little bit challenging. This is kind of what we came to the planet to do, right? This is part of the reason why we're in the old meat suit, is in some ways, is to experience, explore, and take flight in new ways, endeavors, situations, relationships, all of that sort of stuff. If anything isn't sort of serving you, it's time to maybe step away or depart. And that's kind of the departure that I feel like this wing is telling me about. I feel like there's a newness, there's an enthusiasm, there's an excitement to be had here. It does feel a little precarious, first flights, flights in general, there's risk involved, right? But with risk comes reward. And so when I look at this wings card, I also need to couple it with that Flannery O'Connor card from Sunday. And her story was about that, she was kind of petting that peacock and holding that broken egg. And it's sort of like, she had that sort of air intellecty kind of, I don't know, Geminian thinking sort of energy with those glasses on, right? And this wing is also very much air, right? In the sense that wings can't fly unless they take to air, right? And so we have Flannery O'Connor's intelligence, her perspective, her connection, her word was humanity, right? So where do we connect into our world? And how do we connect with humanity at this time? How can we better connect? Do our desires make us feel better so that we can connect in a better way? That where we have a better perspective, a better world? Does that make sense? And so the two kind of need to come together. I feel like Flannery O'Connor wants to teach us that how we sort of plug in to our world really is key right now. And are we sort of getting joy out of that? Are we experiencing that desire? Do we feel successful? I'm just giving you the words of the grounding stones that have come up this week. Are we feeling that, right? As we're getting ready or in the process of taking flight, right? These wings are definitely pointing towards the future. So to me, it's like we're kind of ready to go if we haven't already left. And we need to figure out as we depart or start to take flight in our new ideas, our goals, our endeavors, are we prepared for the changes? I believe that we are, but we may have to be prepared like in the moment, right? We can only sort of prepare for so many things before we start to slip into maybe fear, worry, doubt, anxiety. And trust me, I suffer from a lot of those things at times. And so wings to me is about being free of that. Like saying, and I hate to use foul language in a way, but you know, I swear like a trucker sometimes. It's like just saying fuck it and taking the leap, right? Like we saw with that frog yesterday. So I feel like this midweek card is reminding us that we still have this opportunity here. We still have this desire here. We're ready to take flight, be light, be joyous, be optimistic, be hopeful. These are the energies that I sort of feel like come with this card, and allow the rest to kind of work itself out in the process. And if you feel as though the process is holding you up in any way, or you're not sure about the process, find a way to become one with the process, if that makes sense, in the sense that if you can't feel as though, and it's not about control, but if you can't, how do I want to say this? If there's things that seem like they're in your way, instead of focusing on the fact that they're in your way, focus on maybe that the timing just isn't right now, but when it is right, it will be right. Does that make sense? And that's also that connection of Flannery O'Connor. It's like she can look at the egg as being broken, or she can look at that big, beautiful peacock. It's like we're at whatever stage we're at in our planning or in our journey towards whatever goal we're going after. We can look at it from, you know, a myriad of perspectives, but are we looking at it through a filter of, I'm never going to get this, it's not possible, I'm going to upset too many people, or, you know, I don't have the assets just to make this happen? Or are we looking at it from the place of possibility? That I may not be able to do it just yet, but when I am, I'm ready. It's a totally different energy, right? And so I think that's what Wings is calling up inside of us, is to live in that sense of possibility, that readiness to take flight when the time is right. That time may be now for some of you. I can certainly get that feeling, but if some of you are still in planning stages or in a holding pattern, that's completely fine too. Make the most of where you're being held right now by coming into alignment with it, into acceptance of it. And I kind of feel like once we get there into that acceptance, that's almost when that holding pattern will shift and we can, you know, take flight. All right, let's see what the King of the Moon Oracle has to say. Okay, we've seen this card too before. Waxing Crescent number 6, the Path. So the Path to me, I don't know what my computer's doing right now. And it's number 8, which is about bringing into balance. If you see that numerologically, 8s always to me are about the infinity symbol and bringing things back into balance after making the choices that we do in a number 7 experience, right? When I look at this, there is a ladder to climb. There is some work to be done for this young girl here. She's having a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland moment, right? But she has to climb this ladder to get to sort of the new path, right? And there is something in the distance, which like this castle, maybe those are mountains, but to me it sort of appears to be a castle There's like the night sky is full of a ton of twinkling stars and hope. There's guidance and there's new doorways or new opportunities being made available to us as long as we trust them and we're willing to sort of take the path, right? I think that we can bring about sort of this sense of balance, which is that numerological value of 8 that's happening here, and it's time. There's it's interesting to me. This doorway that's at the end of this ladder to me feels like this could be a doorway, not only like for us personally, for those of us watching this broadcast personally, but this could also be a doorway for us collectively that we're all about to pass through. And what I mean by that is like with all of the things that we're dealing with right now, currently in our world, a lot of it is shared collectively when we think about it. And there's a lot of division that we're seeing right now amongst us collectively. But in that division, we're also experiencing it all together. Does that make sense? And so, you know, with elections, with pandemics, with the things that we've been sort of facing this last year, I feel like the path and the doorways are kind of becoming clearer and becoming more open to us. Maybe with the coming end of 2020, as we're approaching the end of 2020, maybe there is something new on the horizon for us as a greater whole too. I want to hope for that and believe in that. But this ladder to me speaks to the idea that with a little bit of work, a little bit of preparation, and a little bit of sort of belief in oneself, we can get there. And that's also part of this wings card, right? Where wherever we are in our journey, as long as we're hopefully finding joy and enthusiasm for the work, the door is open to us. The possibility is there. Now, what I notice in this window, through this sort of like, to me it sort of appears like a doorway, maybe a mirror, is that there's a lot of clouds, but there is light and there's like greener pastures, right? There's a new world or a new opportunity, something out there on the horizon for us. And that may be something specific that you totally have pictured in your mind right now. Maybe it's a new relationship or a new job, whatever it is for you, right? It's out there. Now, what I see is there's some clouds out there too. So it may be a little foggy as to how it's going to actually look. I would say we could work on defining that a little bit more, but we might have to take the steps first, like to climb that ladder and step through the door, to take wings and take flight, prior to really knowing how we're going to go every step of the way. Some of this is about having faith and strengthening the relationship to self, right? And being able to sort of be sure-footed and in balance with ourself and willing to sort of take the risks or walk the path, even if we don't fully clearly know exactly how we're going to get there. And some of that is also about having faith in spirit too, like our guides or angels, that sort of thing. So let me go to the grounding stone and see what the grounding stone wants to tell us. Okay, interesting. Really positive grounding stones this week. So we have enjoy. Are you enjoying yourself? Like ground in that today, guys. Finding that enthusiasm, that lightness that wings brings, that excitement, that thrill, even if it's a little bit scary, like if we can shift that fear into that state of the unknown where it becomes excitement versus fear, to me, it sort of feels like at that point we can then enjoy it, right? We can then understand that we're moving to something that may be different, but it's exciting on some level. There's an opportunity for a new bright future, right? We may not know exactly how to go about getting there, but if we start the beginning steps, we're able to start to take ourselves towards that, right? And this enjoy kind of keys into that idea of the grounding stone for the week, which is seeking that joy. We should be enjoying the process of everything as we try to better our experience. And, you know, I'm going to say this. I say this to you guys, and I'm not always as good to practice exactly what I preach. I'm human too, right? I get fearful, anxiety-ridden, worried. I do the same stuff as anybody else, right? So I'm saying this as much to you guys as to me. It's a good reminder that in every moment that we have, we need to, this is making me emotional. Whoa. We need to remember to enjoy these experiences, even if we're a little bit fearful. Even if we're worried that we don't have all the answers. In in that moment, we have to trust that those answers will come, that our spirit will bring them to us, right? Or that our guides will bring them to us, or that nature or God or your angels, whatever it is that you seek higher support from, will come and support us if we invite it in, if we ask it for its assistance, right? But we have to remember that. And we should be ideally enjoying every aspect as much as possible. Now, I know that's not going to always be perfect, right? I certainly am not. But, oh, I think the reason why I'm so emotional is that I'm just realizing that as much as I'm giving you guys this message, I need to take it as much myself. Um, Focusing on the things that we're enjoying, the things that we're receiving that are blessings, will open up this sort of path. It will free us up to take this path. Will aid us in finding this balance, this number 8, and also finding the trust, the faith, and the bravery that we need so that we can move forward, so that we can indeed take flight, so that we can find and enjoy whatever it is that brings us joy, whatever it is that is our desire, whatever it is that brings us success. These are the words of the grounding stones this week. These are the principles we want to be grounding, and these are the focuses we want to be keeping, guys. So I hope that makes sense. Sorry to get a little bit woo, but I have to say I've been a little bit in anxiety and a little bit worried about just shifts and changes in my life and things that have happened leading up to this point. And I need to stop and remember to enjoy the process, even though it may not always work out in my favor. There's always a purpose for it. There's always something to be learned from it. And there's those challenges as I rise to them and face them. I learn more, I achieve more, I'm, more capable in the long run. And it deepens my relationship and appreciation of self, ideally. And that's something that I should enjoy, and we all should. So that is your forecast for the day, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in for the monthly horoscopes. They're going up at this time, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Please give the video a like, a share, a subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.